The Indians' 6-game winning streak came to an end, but tonight it's a chance to start a new one. The problem is Yoenis Cespedes and the Oakland A's are in town, and they're proving that last year's late season success was no flash in the pan. Ubaldo Jimenez looks to build on his strong start in Kansas City, and it starts next on Sports Time Ohio. We've got a little left coast flavor tonight here at Progressive Field. For the first time this year, the Indians will take on a team from the American League West as the Oakland A's invade for a 4-game series. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. This last year was not a good matchup for the Cleveland Indians. They lost 8 out of 10 to Oakland, including the last 8 in a row, and it was really a familiar theme. Oakland scored 7 runs a game. The Indians scored less than 3 runs a game. They were shut out in 3 straight against Oakland last year, so they've got to figure out a way to get that turned around.
Well, it's going to have to be Ubaldo Jimenez who's going to do that tonight, and he's coming off his best start, I think, as a Cleveland Indian against the Kansas City Royals. He had everything working. All 4 pitches, he had his fastball, he had his changeup, he had his splitter, he had a good breaking ball. He was ahead in the count. He went 7 strong innings. He finally got a road win. That was the first time in his last 12 starts out on the road that he was able to get a win. He will be matched up against Jared Parker, who had success against the Indians last year. He was 2-0, but he's off to a bad start this year, 1-4. He has allowed 62 base runners in 29 and a third inning, so he's got some work to do. But, you know, we said that yesterday about a pitcher, and he came out and he pitched very well. So he had success against the Tribe last year. We'll see if he can come out and do anything today.
Interesting matchup. 2 of only 7 starting pitchers with an ERA of over 7, having started at least 5 games this year, and they're matched up against each other here tonight. Well, stick around. Tribe's ready to dig in and take on the Oakland Athletics, champions in the West a year ago. Ubaldo Jimenez out to prove his dominant start against KC was no fluke. Come on back. Starting lineups are next. Another gorgeous evening in downtown Cleveland as the Indians host the Oakland Athletics, the first of 4 games this week between the Tribe and the Western Division second-place team. Oakland 2.5 games back in front-running Texas heading into play tonight. Indians 500, 4 games off the pace in the Central. Let's take a look at Oakland's starting 9. For manager Bob Melvin, it will look like this. John Jaso leading it off, designated hitter, left-handed bat. Then Seth Smith, also a left-handed hitter. Jed Lowry, a switch hitter. Yoenis Cespedes from the right side. Brandon Moss, a lefty. Josh Donaldson from the right side. Reddick, left-handed hitter. Norris, right-hander. Eric Sogard, left-hander. So a lot of versatility in that A's lineup.
It'll be Ubaldo Jimenez making his 6th start this year. He is 1-2, but coming off a really good start in Kansas City. He's going to see if he can turn it around here at Progressive Field. He's only made 2 starts, one against the Yankees, one against Boston. They were not good starts, and those 2 starts here, he gave up 7 runs in both of them. So see if he can turn it around in this ballpark.
Well, we're underway with a fastball up high, ball 1. They're telling us the game time temperature is just 56 degrees.
Huh. Well, it's still a nice 56, I'll tell you that. Still nice.
This was one of those days in northeastern Ohio where there was a clear difference between being in the sunshine and in the shade. Air just a little cool here on the lakefront. 2-1 pitch. Popped him up on the infield. Cabrera, the shortstop. He's under it. And that was a major league pop-up for out number 1.
Let's take a look at the Kia Indians defense behind Jimenez this evening. It'll be Brantley in left, Stubbs is in center, Rayburn in right. Reynolds gets the start at third, Cabrera is at short, Kipnis at second, Swisher at first with Santana behind the plate. The outfield for the Indians this year, just 1 error.
Angel Hernandez is the acting crew chief tonight. Doug Eddings at first, John Tumpain is at second base. He's in for Dana DeMuth, who is the regular crew chief on this staff, and Paul Nauert is the umpire at third base tonight. Seth Smith, a .283 hitter so far on the year. Over his last 15 games, just 11 hits, though. That series against the Yankees, he went 2 for 13 out in front.
Well,
count 0-2.
You can see by the way the Indians shift that this guy likes to pull a ball. Even though the outfield is straight away, you can see he tries to get out in front and hook everything.
And the 0-2 swung out and missed. Good fastball, threw it by him. 2 down here in the first. Well, the Indians had to make a roster move just before tonight's ball game. With more on that, here's Katie Witham.
Yeah, Matt, it was very late breaking news. Literally right before the ball game, the Indians placed Vinny Pistano on the 15-day DL. They backdated him to May 1st, so he will be available on May 16th. Terry Francona told me right before the game started that they're just being cautious right now. We saw him throw yesterday and the day before. They thought he was going to be okay. In fact, that's what Terry told us in the pregame presser at 4:15. But when he came out for pitcher stretch, he still had that same discomfort. So they're calling it right elbow tendonitis, and they hope to have him back on the 16th.
Well, let's hope so. Now they don't have to play short tonight. They have that other pitcher in the bullpen now.
Well, it's been the theme of the year so far.
Sure has.
Now the 1-1 to Jed Lowry. Just a bit outside, 2 balls and a strike. Have not been able to get everybody together healthy at one time.
Well, they're doing a nice job, filling in, patching it up, or however you want to call it.
Bounce to first. Routine for Nick Swisher. And Ubaldo Jimenez with a 1-2-3 first inning here tonight. The Indians coming to bat when we come back. Presented by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Michael Brantley at the top spot, followed by Jason Kipnis, then ASDRUBAL Cabrera, Nick Swisher, Mark Reynolds, and Carlos Santana, followed by Jason Giambi, Ryan Rayburn, the American League's Player of the Week, and Drew Stubbs batting ninth.
Jared Parker starting for the A's. He is 1-4, making his 7th start, and an ERA up over 7, but he has allowed a ton of base runners. He averages over about 18 pitches per inning, 62 base runners in his 29 and the third innings. He said, I don't want to say that again because I said that yesterday, and the guy from Minnesota, Belfry, came out and pitched great.
Up high with it, 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, the thing that jumps out at me, 43 hits in 29 innings.
Right.
That's a ton of hits.
Left-handers hitting .418. Hitters are just hitting .350. And this guy was 2-0 against the Indians last year.
One hopper to first. Moss takes it himself, 1 away.
Check out the A's defense behind Parker tonight. It'll be Smith in left, Cespedes in center, Riddick is in right. Donaldson is at third, Lowry at short, Sogard at second, Moss at first with Norris behind the plate. Right fielder, Josh Reddick, a Gold Glove. He had an all-around good year last year for the A's.
Brings up Jason Kipnis. Call to strike, looked low. But Angel Hernandez quick to raise the right hand. Kipnis 5 for 13 in the series against the Twins. He drives one high in the air, deep center field. Cespedes back, looking up, it is gone!
Whoa.
Jason Kipnis' third home run of the year stakes the Indians to a 1-0 lead.
Wow.
He continues his hot hitting on this homestand as Jason Kipnis has now homered twice on the homestand. He's driven in 7 runs. He's got a couple of triples, and he's given the Indians the early lead here tonight.
I'll tell you what, that's surprising power. Although that pitch was elevated above the belt, but he stayed on it. And, I mean, that's a long way. Left center field. I don't know if he thought he got it, but he certainly did.
King Kong Kipnis.
I'll tell you what, that thing went a long way. Third home run, the Indians will take a 1-0 lead.
Now is ASDRUBAL Cabrera.
He's
looks
starting
at the ball up
it.
high.
I'm telling you, he's starting to swing it. He's getting aggressive up there. He looks well. He looks very good at the plate.
All 3 of Jason's home runs this year have been first-inning blasts. Always nice to get those early runs, play from in front. That's been a good formula for this Indians club.
Well, it was he and Swisher that had solo home runs in the first inning against Minnesota the other day. Spotted them 2-0.
Indians have done that quite a few times this year, homering twice in an inning.
Well, they have 41 home runs this year, which leads the league. You know, you don't look at this club as being like the big power club, but they've done a nice job all the way through.
You see Cabrera over his last 8 games, picking it up offensively.
Yeah, Tommy Bowe tells me the Indians have homered 9 times this year in the first inning. This is game number 29.
Cabrera thought it was ball 4. It's called a strike, and the count is full. Now Parker lets it fly, and Cabrera drives it deep center field. Cespedes, it's gone. Or is it?
Yeah, it's
yes,
out of here.
It is out of here.
It is.
ASDRUBAL Cabrera with his 3rd homer. Back-to-back blasts here in the first for the Indians, and they now lead it 2-0. It's the 8th time this year the Indians have homered twice in an inning. 5th time they've done it here at home.
Well, let's make this our McDonald's. I'm loving it. Another elevated fastball, and Cabrera turns on it. This one was a line drive variety, and Cespedes is going to turn and look, and it's over into the bullpen. The pitchers are taking cover out there. It bounces back into play, but it clearly went out. And now Melvin is going to go out and ask the umpire to take a look. He thought it hit something, but it hit like the fencing or something.
Well, it didn't hit the fencing. I think did it hit is right behind the yellow line. Is there a gap between the yellow line and the roof of the bullpen?
There must be. That's why the pitchers ducked.
That thing shot right back in a hurry.
If there wasn't, the pitchers wouldn't have ducked.
Take another look.
But watch, it definitely went over.
Look at them covering their heads.
It did. It hit that line. There must be
a little bit of a gap there, I think.
It hit the corner of it and came back into play. But it's a homer. Cabby said, I know it. He hit his third. So back-to-back in the first. That a way to get it started today.
Now Nick Swisher. He pops one up. Out goes the shortstop, Jed Lowry, who makes the over-the-shoulder catch. 2 down. Well, that's a half dozen homers allowed by Parker now in 30 innings of work. Adding to his woes already this year.
Yeah, well, you can see why. And if he has been upstairs like he has been in the first inning here, that's why the numbers that he has are up. Are elevated with the 45 hits in the 30 innings.
Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile Index. Reynolds has reached in 19 straight. Now, some of those numbers go back to last year, the top 2 streaks. Well, Jason Kipnis getting it started. ASDRUBAL Cabrera following suit. Couple of solo homers here in inning number 1. Man, the Tribe out to a 2-0 lead. The Keystone combo going back to back. Oh, Reynolds goes down. And Hernandez issues a warning.
Well, you know why? Because the 2 home runs were hit. I really don't think he was throwing at him intentionally.
And I think because of where the pitch was, too.
I know. It was coming upstairs. It was coming around the head. I really don't think that was intentional. But, because you hit 2 home runs, that's the way they do it nowadays. I mean, watch this ball take off, and it comes in, and it gets him right on the back, right near the R in Reynolds.
I saw Angel Hernandez look towards the Indians' dugout, and he pointed towards his head. I think because the pitch was up near the head, that's why the warning gets
was
issued.
Well, okay.
I'm just speculating, but Terry Francona wants an explanation.
Yeah, he does. You see, and this is the unfortunate thing. A lot of times when you issue warnings this time of the ball game, it stops pitchers from pitching inside. Not that they're going to try and hit anybody.
Well, and if I'm Terry Francona, I might want to know, okay, if you're issuing the warning, you felt it was intentional, why isn't he thrown out of the game? We had a guy get tossed and then suspended.
Well, look at. Now, that's just a typical warning. I don't know. I can't answer that. I know what you're saying. If he felt it was intentional, then he should throw him out. You're right. He could.
It's a judgment call, obviously.
Personally, I don't think he was trying. He was throwing at him.
Carlos Santana. I suppose if I'm in the Indians dugout, this guy's tied for the league lead in home runs. He's tearing it up offensively, and all of a sudden he gets drilled after we hit 2 homers in the first. I can see why the Indians dugout will be saying, hey, come on now.
I know. Hey, don't worry. It's a long series, a 4-game series. We're just getting started, man. We're bottom of the first, a 4-game series. If they feel that way, then there's plenty enough time to take care of it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. 2 balls and a strike. Tribe still batting here in the first.
If you're Mark Reynolds right now, what you want to do on a ground ball, go into second base. Well, even though there's 2 outs, it's too bad. If there's 1 out, you go in there and you take somebody out up the middle. And as a hitter, he would have a better idea if he felt it was intentional too. When you're in the batter's box, you get a feeling.
Swing and a miss, 2-2.
And I think that's what Carlos wanted to do, is take him out of the ballpark.
Because now as a hitter, you can dig in. He's not going to come back inside. And if he hits anybody, he could be ejected.
Well, Reynolds does have one steal on the year,
but he's not a base stealer. I mean, why is he even bother? As a matter of fact, I saw that wiggle. I always thought it would be a changeup. I don't think they're throwing over there intentionally. It must be him.
Oh, he called that strike 3. Wow. That was not a good call. And Carlos Santana lets Angel know the Indians go back-to-back. They lead it 2-0. McDonald's new Premium McWrap. Try one today. And by Kia. Yoenis Cespedes leads off the second inning for Oakland. Ubaldo Jimenez delivers a fastball down low. This guy's a difference maker for the Oakland Athletics. They are just 5-10 when he's been out of the lineup. He was on the DL for 15 days.
Yeah, he makes everybody else around him better, you know, if they don't pitch to him. You know, the A's, they're first in the league in walks. They've walked 149 times, which doesn't surprise you. They're first in doubles. First in runs scored this year. Second in on-base percentage.
That's been their MO for years.
Wow. If I'm Santana, I stay right out there because he rang him up on a pitch that was a foot outside.
How do you not call that after what you just did to Santana?
I know. That's why Carlos is sitting out there. That's okay. He pulled it in a little bit, but it was outside.
Cespedes grounds it up the middle. Cabrera's there to cut it off, and he throws him out one away. All right, our keys to the game. Jimenez hoping he can build on that last start. That last start was tremendous, the way he pitched in Kansas City. And you got to find a way to control Cespedes. He is the linchpin in the middle of that Oakland A's lineup. Brandon Moss will bat now with one out here in the second. Strike over the outside edge. Last 11 games, Moss has 11 hits. He's a guy who thrives away from the Coliseum. His .409 batting average on the road, second best in the American League. That was not where he wanted it, and it is hit a long way. Deep right field, Rayburn back, makes the catch, slams into the wall and hangs on. 2 down. Wow.
I wonder if he hurt his wrist.
Well, on that dead run, I think he might have hurt his ribs a little bit or his chest.
Elbow, maybe?
He smoked the wall. He's on the dead run.
I'll tell you what, that was a nice catch, man. It went right into the glove, and then what he might have done is hyperextended his arm against the wall. Watch as he hits. It was straight, and it goes right into the wall. Or is it the right arm? Check the right arm.
It's the right arm. Tries to brace.
Yeah, braces. He made the catch. It was a nice running catch. I thought that ball was out of here. A beautiful play by Ryan Rayburn.
Well, you remember the target. Santana wanted it up high, but that ball came down, and Moss almost hit it out of here. Now Josh Donaldson. We highlighted him in our coverage on Indians Live today. 7 games in his career against the Indians. He has 7 RBIs and 11 hits, including 2 doubles and 2 home runs. But as you pointed out, it's not just the Indians. He's doing this kind of damage against a lot of people.
He's a guy that's flying under the radar around the league, and I'll tell you, from what I've seen, he looks like he's going to be a really good player.
Breaking ball and just a little bit off the plate.
He was player of the week last week for the American League, and the one that just made that nice catch is player of the week this week, Rayburn. It's breaking ball off the plate.
Fastball.
You know what I was thinking, too, after the warnings issued this early, he may be given a little bit more on the outside and not call the inside, but.
Well, he's not, because he's not calling these.
No, but, I mean, they're outside. I mean, they look good, but he's sitting off the plate. I'll tell you what, if a hitter's got to hit that pitch,
swung
you're in
out
trouble.
and missed. It's
There'll
in
be
the
no
dirt.
Hitters.
Santana throws him out. And the inning is over. 1, 2, 3 again. 6 up, 6 down so far for Jimenez. Ryan Rayburn risking life and limb to make a great catch. Two 2-0 Tribe on top. Bottom of the second inning, bottom third of the Indians' order due up here. Jason Giambi leading off, looks at a ball outside. Pitch outside. And Giambi in a 3-0 count. Remember, Jason Giambi came up in this Oakland Athletics organization. He was well schooled on the idea of on-base percentage, how important that is. No surprise, really, as Rick pointed out, how many walks the A's have. I mean, that's all part of their game plan. It has been for a long time. Strike 2 and a full count.
Well, at least he didn't let the bat go out of his hand. Definitely had the plate.
Now the payoff pitch. High pop, left field. Long run for Smith with the shift on. And it's misplayed. And into second base goes Jason Giambi. Boy, Donaldson ran a long way for that ball. He got to it. But I don't know, Rick, because he was running so long, maybe his head was bouncing. The ball was in his glove, but it just didn't stick.
You know,
he kind of jumped at the end, too. Which
he does. You're right. He jumps at it. That's a tough play. Third baseman, he goes out, he jumps up. You know, the outfielder, if you can make that play, make the play. I know they're playing Giambi to pull. I didn't see how far he had to go, but when you're right, when you jump up, that ball moves a little bit. And did they give him a hit? Double. It's a tough play.
Yeah, it sure is. You're running with your back to the plate, long way. Now Ryan Rayburn, the American League's Player of the Week, and why not with the damage he did?
Well, if he didn't get it this week, you'd never win it. The couple of games that he had, the 3 straight,
he had almost 600 in a couple of years since the Indians had a Player of the Week winner. Pitch is low, 2 balls, no strikes. Parker with a 2-0. Rayburn a swing and a miss. Good fastball that time.
It's already 4 2-0 counts for Parker. This is hitter number 8.
That's down low. 3 balls and a strike. Drew Stubbs waits on deck. Rayburn, meanwhile, looking to get a pitch he can hammer now. Parker takes a look, nothing doing with Giambi. Now, for the time being, the Indians lead the American League now in home runs. They've hit 42 as a team. They began the day tied with the Yankees for the league lead in home runs. 3-1 pitch. Out of play to the right and a full count.
Well, you know you're going to get a healthy cut now when you have that count in your favor. You figure you're looking fastball. He fouled it off.
Parker's payoff pitch. Bounced towards short. Scooped up by Lowry, and he throws him out, 1 away. With more on Ryan Rayburn's big week, here's Katie.
Well, Matt, I spoke with Ryan in the clubhouse today. He told me being AL Player of the Week is probably up there with one of the coolest accomplishments he's ever had. He said especially after going through what he did last year in Detroit. He told me he's a streaky hitter, but this is the hottest his streak has ever been. The key for him, keeping it simple, not thinking too much, letting his ability take over when he's out there, and continuing to have fun.
Well, only 4 guys in baseball have had a streak that he had last week. What was it, 12 for 13?
At one point,
At
right?
one point with 4 homers and, who knows how many RBIs, but it was unbelievable. That's about as hot as you can get.
in there for a strike. It's 0-2. Yeah, he was fourth player in 75 years, 11 hits, 4 homers in a 3-game span.
Yeah, I know Kirby Puckett was one of them.
Duke Snyder.
Uh-huh.
Sean Green also did it with
there
the
you
Dodgers.
go. There, I mean, so how hot is that? You got to win the American League Player of the Week, don't you?
Yeah. Drew Stubbs also has been hot. I mean, if not for Ryan Rayburn, we'd be talking about Drew Stubbs. He's hitting 500 in 5 games.
He's played very well. He's been on a nice roll as well. Well, most of the offense has.
Yep.
They've done a good job together going through the lineup, hitting with 2 outs.
Got him. Parker gets a strikeout, his second, 2 down in the inning.
MLB.com At Bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Indians baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text At Bat to 31826 or visit Indians.com.
Michael Brantley looks, it's down low, ball 1. A little bit outside. Good pitch at the knees, outside corner.
Well, this is a guy, to me, looks like he has to command his fastball because it's basically been a fastball changeup mix, and his changeup's like a little split change. So he's got to locate that fastball, and there's that little split change right there. But I haven't seen any good breaking ball or anything. And the home runs that he gave up, fastballs were up, and they took advantage of it.
Brantley in a good spot here with a runner at second base. 3-1 pitch in the air, left field. Smith has room. He makes the catch, and the side is retired. 2 complete. The Indians 2 and the A's nothing. Bottom third of the Oakland lineup. Josh Reddick, Derek Norris, and Eric Sogard due up. Ubaldo Jimenez, sharp at the outset here tonight. Misses up high, ball one. Reddick, a $148 average. Now what you expect after the season he had a year ago. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a one-hop smash through the left side of the infield. He had just 2 hits in his last 23 at-bats coming in.
Well, that's an approach that'll get you going at least. He stayed on and went the other way with it.
Hit .341 against the Indians last year, so go figure, right? Here's the injury report brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Former Indian Coco Crisp on the DL with a left hamstring injury. Chris Young, another good outfielder, has a quad problem. Brett Anderson, fine pitcher, with the ankle problem. So the A's have had their share of injuries early. Derek Norris, the catcher, looks at ball one.
You know, you brought something up to me when you said they're 13-3. The A's are in their own division, and just 5-11 against everybody else. That's hard to believe.
And that's with the 3 out of 4 against the Yankees this weekend in New York.
Yeah.
So it was even worse before that series.
Oh, back-to-back 4-game series for these guys, huh?
Yeah, that seems odd, doesn't it?
Yeah, West Coast team, though, when they come east, they want to keep them here, I guess. Their travel schedule's tough.
Yeah, between them and Seattle, probably not many teams log more miles. A strike called, 1-2 the count. Pitch down low. You know, I'm going to look. Maybe that wasn't a 4-game series. Let me look back here. It was a 3-game series. They were off on Thursday.
Okay, they had an off day and then the 3-game series. Gotcha.
Okay. So they won 2 out of 3 from New York. Down in the dirt. Good block by Santana.
Well, he does a nice job of getting it in there as a split that, you know, you didn't know if the guy swung. But I'll tell you what, Carlos Santana asks the umpires for check swings more than any catcher I've ever seen.
Yeah, and
he does. He asks, for me, you ask too much. Because after a while, you know, they just say, no, he didn't. That's
got him
pitch.
looking. Norris out. 3rd strikeout for Jimenez. And that's the 1,000th career strikeout for Ubaldo Jimenez.
Second pitcher in about a week that has gotten their 1,000th strikeout. Scott Kazmir did it back in Kansas City, and here comes Ubaldo Jimenez. Gets his here in the 3rd inning against the Oakland A's.
Eric Sogard, the number 9 hitter, looks at a strike. Back out of play. Banged foul.
So far tonight, Jimenez doing the same thing he did in his last start, pounding the strike zone. 6-0-2, 1-2 counts to this point, facing his 9th hitter. Something that's you love to see.
Two to 1 strike to ball ratio so far for Ubaldo. Strike 3 called. He has rung up the last 2 A's. 2 down.
Perfect pitch, outside corner, fastball at the knees. Well done. That pitch right there is pretty much unhittable. That's why you take it, and you're thinking, oh, my goodness. You still don't think you can hit it when you see it. You're saying, no, that's outside. It's got to be. Your mind's telling you it's outside, but it's really a perfect pitch.
John Jaso takes a strike. Jaso popped up on the infield his first time up.
I remember when Jason was down in Tampa, Madden let him off a couple times down there.
Not often that you see a DH in the leadoff spot.
And he's a catcher, and you don't. But I guess he walks and his on-base percentage is up there, and that's why they put him up. At least that's why they did down in Tampa at times. But then again, he would move it, and he'd put who did he put up there at the Longoria? I think he let off one time.
The 1-1. Another good pitch, and Jimenez.
I'm telling you, he's
going back to his last start. He's really had very good command.
He's in a groove. He's in a nice groove, and it looks like he's not overthrowing. I see that with a 1-2 count, another 1-2 count. Go ahead and throw to first base.
Well, when he had his problems early in the year,
stolen bases and no caught.
It was out of the stretch.
Yeah.
But he has struck out back-to-back hitters out of the stretch.
And a guy you can run on, though. But they choose not to.
Up high with a 2-2.
Oakland, I look at this Oakland team. They've stolen 25 bases, which is second in the league. Normally, they're not a running team. They walk, and they try to hit the home runs and just get on base. But this year, they're off to a running start. Bob Melvin has them going. But with Coco out, that'll slow it down a little.
Breaking ball, and it just missed. A full count. So the runner, Reddick, will be off. Three-two pitch. A little bit high, ball 4. First walk issued. 2 on, 2 out.
Well, the first 10,000 fans will get a Block C rally cap. That'll be courtesy of Strickland's Frozen Custard. The Indians will take on the Seattle Mariners. That's all taking place on Saturday, May 18th. Buy early and save. Log on to Indians.com for your tickets.
Seth Smith struck out his first time up. And Jimenez gets ahead. Quickly 0-2 in just 10 games against the Tribe in his career. Seth Smith, 13 hits, 317 average, 5 doubles, 3 homers, 7 ribbies.
Nice breaking ball.
Not a lot of movement on that pitch. Runners go. Swing and a miss. He strikes him out. Ubaldo Jimenez gets 3 strikeouts here in the third. He's fanned 5 through 3, 2-0 Cleveland. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one, we'll look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Elite. 2-0 Indians on top, bottom of the third inning. Jason Kipnis, ASDRUBAL Cabrera, and Nick Swisher due up. Kipnis with another high drive, left center field. Cespedes on the move, on the track, makes the catch for out number one.
That was going to be an instant replay.
Tell you what, he gave it a ride once again. Our AT&T U-verse rewind.
That was a line drive. That was like a laser shot that hit over the bullpen. Came back into play for back-to-back shots for Kipnis and Cabrera.
Cabrera takes a breaking ball for a strike. Down in the dirt. Low with it. 2 balls and a strike. So Cabrera jumps ahead. For the Indians in switch hitter home run history, Baerga, Victor, Robbie, and then Cabrera creeping up the ladder there. Called a strike. It's 2-2. Might have chased one there. Breaking ball that was up. Third strikeout for Jared Parker. 2 down here in the third.
Well, a week from today, you can catch 2 games for the price of 1. Tribe will make up those. It'll be a traditional doubleheader against the Yankees. First pitch is starting at 12:05. 1 ticket, good for both games. 1 week from today.
Now Nick Swisher with a liner to center field and a base hit.
Well, he tried to do the same thing in his last at-bat after the back-to-back home runs, jump on the first pitch, and it jammed him, but not this time.
Snaps an 0 for 8 for Nick. And a 2-out base runner for the Tribe here in the third.
See, they wanted it in. That ball creeps back out over the plate, and Swisher makes him pay. 4th hit for the Indians. 2-out single by Nick. Now, this guy's got a little payback. This is where the warning came back in the first inning.
Mark Reynolds was drilled almost right in the R on his jersey. Chops this one foul, third base side.
Well, he's digging in this time. If you watch the first pitch, it gets away. That's after the 2 home runs. There he goes. He's going to warn both teams. Reynolds did the smart thing. You get up, you go to first base. And he's going to try and hit one off the scoreboard here, I guarantee it.
Oh, my. Can't believe he gave him that. It's 0-2. Looks like Norris brings this back over the plate. Take another look.
Well, that was a changeup.
And the 2-strike pitch is in the dirt. Reynolds having a terrific start to his year. .296 average. 6 for 19 on the homestand with 6 runs batted in. That's outside, and the count evens now, 2-2. Parker gave up 2 solo homers in the first. Leadoff double in the second, but no more damage. Bounced it in front of Norris. Can't find it. Once he does, Swisher's already down to second. So the wild pitch puts a runner in scoring position with 2 down now.
Well, from 0-2 to 3-2, and that's that field pitch, that little split change, and, you know, that's an inconsistent pitch for him. When it's on, it's awfully good. But it looks like it's a field pitch, and that one was way out in front of the plate, so it'll go as a wild pitch, his 5th this year.
And now the payoff pitch. Bounced it again. So 2 on with 2 out, and Carlos Santana coming up. Here's our great clip of the game from yesterday. Santana with a solo jack to the bleachers. Indians would get the tying run to the plate in the bottom of the 9th, but their win streak came to an end at 6. Great clips. It's going to be great. Now Santana with a chance to do some damage here in the 3rd. He was rung up to end the 1st inning on a horrendous call by home plate umpire Angel Hernandez. Now here in the 3rd, he's got 2 aboard. This was the strike 3 call that ended the 1st inning.
Yeah, that ball
That's
going
not even
away.
close.
No, it's not.
But you mentioned it when we went to the break. He had a bad call, Hernandez did, in the WBC that was even worse than that.
Yeah.
Santana rips it foul. Eric Ibar was at the plate for the Dominican Republic. Was in the championship game against the U.S. And Hernandez called a strike 2. The ball was literally in the other batter's box on the other side of the plate when the catcher caught it.
Didn't Ibar end up getting a base hit
Next
at
pitch.
that?
Next pitch, game-winning hit. But that call, I think Tony Pena almost came out of his shoes in the Dominican dugout.
Well, you see, it's one thing to have the second pitch called and it's upsetting, but when it's 3rd, you have no recourse.
Right.
You're done.
That's it. Yep.
That's the upsetting thing.
Santana has done well in the clutch. And the 2-1. Line to 3rd, and a nice diving backhanded grab by Donaldson to end the inning. Tribe strands a pair. Through 3, it remains Cleveland 2, Oakland nothing. Another gorgeous night here at the ballpark as the Indians open a 4-game series against the Oakland Athletics. Oakland came in 18-14 on the year, champions of the AL West last season.
Wasn't it amazing how they won it last year?
They ran everybody down.
Well, they had Texas the last week of the season when they won 6 out of 9 or something like that.
Jed Lowry's having a pretty good year. Came over from Houston last season, and what a trade that's turned out to be for Oakland.
Boy, oh boy, has it ever. You know, got off to the first 17, 18 games this year, hit well over 400. He slowed down a little bit, but I guess the key for this guy, can he stay healthy? If he can, he could be a great pickup for him.
Last year, Oakland won their last 6 in a row to end the season, including 5 of their last 7 against Texas.
That's how they won it. It was great. They earned it.
Drew Stubbs settles under that. Jed Lowry is out number 1. Take a look at our AT&T trivia question. And today, name the last player with 10 or more seasons between his first and second MVP awards.
10 or more seasons.
I got a pretty good idea.
Well, then I'll let you have this one tonight. I don't want to think.
Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah,
don't pull a muscle over there. It's a 4-game series. We need you.
It's not a muscle.
Yoenis Cespedes, a ground out the short his first time up.
It's on you tonight, John.
I got you. I got your back. White Sox beat the Royals earlier today, 2-1 the final score in that game at Kauffman Stadium.
That was a makeup game, wasn't it?
I was going to say it almost had to be, right?
Oh, boy.
Deep to left field, Cespedes has left the yard.
Yes, he has.
That's his 6th home run of the year, and he gets Oakland on the board. And on a 2-0 pitch, Ubaldo Jimenez gives up his 5th of the year.
Very dangerous. So he gets him on the board. Jimenez gives up his 5th. There it is, inside 2-0. That's what hitters are looking for, middle in. He gets it. He doesn't miss it. It's only the second hit, but this one will leave the yard.
Brandon Moss was robbed his first time up on a terrific play by Ryan Rayburn. At first we thought maybe it was going to be out of the park. And then Rayburn made a on-the-dead run catch, slammed into the right field wall, and hung on. He checks. It's a called strike.
Yeah, he had no room. He just puts his glove out there, and then there was Wall. All of a sudden, it just showed up. Look at, he knew he was getting close. You could tell by the look on his face. But he had enough concentration to keep his eyes on the ball, look it in the glove, and then he kissed the wall.
By the way, the win for Chicago today ends Kansas City's 4-game win streak. Detroit has won 4 straight. They sit atop the AL Central at 19-11. Moss, a swing and a miss. He chased one in the dirt. Santana applies the tag. 2 down here in the 4th. That's a half dozen Ks now for Ubaldo.
Well, Ubaldo's had the strikeout pitch working. Boy, there's a good fastball. He's going to run it right by you. There's the splitter down in the dirt. Another fastball outside corner. Perfect fastball there. He's locating it well. And everything stems off that fastball. That was looked like a little split there. Everything stems off that fastball. He can control that. You know, he expands their zone with his other pitches.
The 1-0 pitch. Called a strike over the outside corner. Good fastball outside corner at the knees again.
Nice location.
And Ubaldo going right back out there again. And Donaldson able to spoil it.
That's 10. 0-2, 1-2 counts for Ubaldo.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him to go fish, and the inning is over. That's 7 strikeouts for Jimenez. But the A's get on the board. 2-1 Cleveland, middle of the 4th. Hey, the next Sugardale Dollar Dog Night is Friday, May 17th, when Seattle comes to town. Load up on Sugardale hot dogs all night long for only $1. Log on to Indians.com for tickets. So Jason Giambi will now lead off the home half of the 4th for the Tribe. Bottom third of the Indians order. Giambi doubled his first time up. A towering pop that dropped about halfway down the left field line. A's have a shift on, so anything hit to the other side is a long run for somebody. In that case, it was Donaldson, the third baseman, who couldn't get his feet under him. He got to it, but he jumped at the last minute, and a ball popped out of his glove.
Yeah, normally you would like to see your outfielder take that ball, but Smith didn't come in to help him a whole lot. It was a tough play for the third baseman out in the left field.
Giambi pops this one back out of play.
I mean, when you think about this, he's over close to shortstop, but this is a third baseman that's out there now. And you see the left fielder shying away. I'd rather see him coming in and sliding for it than a third baseman having to go out and maybe jump for it like he did.
The old take charge play. Call him off, take charge.
I mean, be aggressive.
Giambi taking. That's a good fastball in there for a strike. 1-2 the count.
I mean, Giambi's happy because he ends up getting a double.
Against his former club, Giambi takes aim. Parker's 1-2 pitch. Swung out and missed. Got him to chase one in the dirt. 4th strikeout for Parker. One down here in the 4th. Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com. See the new Ohio Sports Buzz area. Find out why Buckeyes fans are excited about Garyon Conley. And check out Game Connect during every Indians game. Complete coverage of all today's action involving Ohio sports on FoxSportsOhio.com. Ryan Rayburn grounded to short his first time up. Good pitch. That had some pretty good movement on it. And he powered the fastball by him, so he goes off speed.
Changed his eye level.
Like you said, just playing a little bit of a doubt with the off speed. Then he come back with the fastball.
And he changed it, that off speed down low. Came up high with his fastball.
Despite Parker's year in which his ERA is over 7, he has had 3 starts this year in which he's allowed 3 earned runs or less. Problem is one of those starts was only 3 1/3 innings against the Angels. I'm not sure, that had to be rain or something.
Well,
you wouldn't think it would be rain.
Yeah, he didn't pitch well at home this year. He's made 4 starts. He's 1-3 and an ERA of 9. On the road, he's made 2 starts and he's got an ERA of 2.79.
Here's the thing, though. In that, as Rayburn draws the walk, in that start against the Angels, he only went 3 1/3 inning, gave up 2 runs, but 9 hits.
Yeah,
it's a lot of hits in just 3 innings. So he had a lot of traffic, obviously, in that game. Just look at his start so far this year. Opening start against Seattle, he gave up 5 hits, then 9 hits, 9 hits, 6 hits, 8 hits, 6 hits.
Yeah.
So far, the Indians have 4,
yeah,
and they were only in the 4th inning.
4 hits and also 2 walks. Don't forget the walks and the hit batter. That's 3 more runners because he has averaged 2 runners an inning. You know, the more you pitch in jams when you have guys on, someone's going to get you sooner or later. You know, they're going to get that hit. You can get out of jams and pitch your way out of some trouble once in a while, but if you continue to get yourself in trouble sooner or later, it's going to catch up to you.
Well, Drew Stubbs trying to get the Indians rolling again here in the 4th. 2-1 ball game. Called a strike. Evens the count.
He has pitched better this year with nobody on. 2 out of the stretch. Hitters are hitting .333 off him.
The 1-1. Stubbs, big chopper to short. They'll get 1. As Rayburn is erased, 2 down. Well, let's go back to the Hyundai Studios for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Rick. Twins and Boston tonight at Fenway Park. Top of the 1st inning. Clay Buchholz can't make the play here. It's a base hit up the middle. Morneau knocks in Willingham. Minnesota ahead 2-0. They're now at the 4th inning at Fenway Park. Matt?
All right. Thanks, Al. Boston has won 9 of their last 14 against Minnesota.
Yeah, they got Buchholz going tonight. Uh-oh, got him.
He missed the tag.
He had
Stubbs
to.
goes back in safely.
He had him picked. He took that jab step to second, and Moss just, I don't know what happened.
It looked like Stubbs did a swan dive back into the bag, but he avoided being tagged.
Let's see. The ball definitely beats him. He just missed him, I guess.
Yeah,
Flat
sure
out
did.
missed him. That's what you call the old alligator arms. They short arm it. But he was there. He thought he was going to jump right into it. Well, now Stubbs is not going to go out. He's going to be a little more careful. That's a scary feeling, too, when you're a base runner and you know you're picked off. But for some reason, he got back in there.
Michael Brantley looks at a strike. He is 0 for 2 here tonight. 0 for his last 9. But as we've seen from Brantley, his slumps usually don't last too terribly long.
No, they do not. He's pretty consistent with the strike zone, with his approach.
Whoops, this one
That's
toward
gonna
right
find a
field,
spot.
dropping, and it's in. Nice backhanded short hop there by Reddick, but he still can't keep Stubbs from going all the way to third, and the Indians have him at the corners with 2 down here in the 4th now.
There you go. Just a little bloop off the end of the bat, but he pulled it into right center field, and they shade him to left field for the most part. That was another good change. It was a good pitch by Parker, so you give Michael credit, and that was a nice pick by Reddick, because you never know if that ball deflects off him and goes towards center field, this guy could score. But he gets to third base easily, so with 2 outs, the Indians trying to mount something here.
Well, now Jason Kipnis will get a chance. Kipnis homered over the big wall in left field, just to the left of straightaway center in the 1st. Tried to go that way again in the 3rd, hit it to the warning track.
He's got to see some change-ups here, I would imagine. He went at him twice with fastballs, and Kipnis got him the 1st time and just missed him the 2nd. There's one.
Parker gets ahead. And as we go back to the 1st inning, this was the home run. Cespedes was waiting for it to come back. It never did. And that's the 3rd homer on the year for Kipnis, 2nd on the homestand. Bounce to first right at Moss, and the inning is over. 4 complete. It's the Indians 2 and the A's 1. Is brought to you by the wireless receiver only from AT UVerse. Rethink possible. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Panini's with 19 locations in Northeast Ohio. Ubaldo Jimenez facing the bottom 3rd of the Oakland order here in the 5th inning. Josh Reddick, a base hit his first time up. Offensively, he's been fighting it here lately. Came in just 2 hits in his previous 23 at-bats. That goes over 9 games.
Well, and for Ubaldo, I mean, this year he's the first 4 hitters in the lineup have hit over 300 against him, but from 5 on down have only hit 125. But Reddick had his in that number 7 hole. And Cespedes, that number 4 hitter, left the yard.
But here's where Billy Beane, the A's general manager, doesn't really care that Reddick is hitting 148, because with runners in scoring position, he's hitting 333.
I like that.
With bases empty, he's 3 for 46.
I don't like that.
But
I know what you're saying.
The A's philosophy has always been, whether you strike out or ground out, you're 0 for 1.
To me, what that says is maybe he's trying to hit home runs a little bit more, and he's concentrating to put the ball in play when you have runners in scoring position to get them home. This guy has good power. He's an excellent low ball hitter. But he was up in the lineup last year. Now he's hitting 7th.
Swung on and missed, and Ubaldo Jimenez has struck out a season-high 8 batters here tonight.
Come all the way back.
With more on the Indians' right-hander, let's bring in Katie Witham once again.
Well, Matt, during his off days, Ubaldo Jimenez has been focusing on playing catch every day, using his off-speed pitches, especially his curveball, which used to be one of his best pitches when he was in Colorado. Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, told me his curveball spin much tighter and better, and his overall command on all of his off-speeds have improved.
Yes, it certainly has. The command has improved with everything.
Slowly bounced towards third. Mark Reynolds on the move, fires a strike across the diamond, 2 away. Well, Reynolds has played well no matter where they put him. He's DH, he's played first, he's played third. He made a game-saving play defensively at third down in Houston.
Yes, he did. Hey, this guy, he's a gamer, man. He goes out and he plays. It doesn't matter. Put me in, coach. He's ready to play. Doesn't matter where.
Eric Sogard called out on strikes his first time up. Missed outside, ball 1. Popped up, back, and out of play. Sogard, 3 hits in his last 27 at-bats. That goes back over his last 11 games plus tonight.
Well, for me, those glasses are new for him this year, I think. I don't remember him wearing glasses last year.
He hits this one to right field. Rayburn has it measured. And a 1-2-3 fifth inning for Ubaldo Jimenez, who continues to pitch well here tonight. 2-1 Tribe, middle of the 5th. The Indians lead it 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. ASDRUBAL, Cabrera, Nick Swisher, Mark Reynolds coming up for the Tribe. Jared Parker has stranded 6 Indians base runners through the first 4 innings. He allowed back-to-back solo homers in the first, but that has been it. Solo homer for Oakland, cutting the lead in half. That's all the scoring. Long ball tonight. ASDRUBAL Cabrera had one of those homers in the first, his third of the year. I think he was thinking about a drag bunt. They're playing deep on the right side of the infield.
Yeah, but I think he just wanted to maybe bring him in or take a look at something.
Hit
like that.
Just foul, first base side. It was over the bag, but right on the line to make the call, Doug Eddings.
Well, and it looked like Moss was playing him on the line pretty much. I mean, he wasn't straddling like it's ninth inning, but that's pretty close to the line. And it was foul, but not by much.
There's a strike called. Cabrera doesn't like it. The Indians have been at odds with Hernandez all night long.
He's been calling the low pitch tonight. There's no question about it, low. He's been calling that pitch. He called it, I'm trying to think of who else he called that on earlier in the game. It had the plate. He's calling it.
There's a high fly ball, right field. Back goes Reddick, still going back. He's out of room. It's out of here.
Wow.
ASDRUBAL Cabrera's third home run of the year, or making his fourth of the year, second of the night. And the Indians are now on top 3-1. As Cabrera said, well, I didn't like that last call, but I like this pitch.
You know what? That doll had the top spin to it or whatever. He got underneath it. I didn't think it was going out. It was hit so high. But it kept carrying and carrying, and by the time Reddick gets back, it goes into their pen. So he has visited both pens tonight.
Third time for Cabrera, a multi-homer game. You can see Reddick, he wanted to climb that wall, but it wouldn't have done him any good.
Did that almost get Chris up there on the top of their dugout, or bullpen? Mad Dog.
He's quick on his feet.
Put the helmet on, buddy.
Nick Swisher, a breaking ball for a strike.
Watch this. Look at Chris. He's running from it. Come on, man. I thought you were tougher than that. Take a souvenir home to the kids.
Swisher, another breaking ball. And the count 0-2.
How about this? All the runs tonight in this game coming solo home runs. The 3 by the Indians and the 1 by Oakland. Cespedes has Oakland's. Kipnis has 1. Cabrera has 2.
Now the 0-2.
This has been
took off.
A good homestand for the Indians as far as home runs go, buddy.
Well, they lead the league in home runs.
Yeah, they've got 14 on the homestand. That's good for our cause, too.
Yes, it is. Breaking ball, and Swisher is rung up, and another Indians hitter shakes his head at Angel Hernandez. Here's our game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Jason Kipnis and ASDRUBAL Cabrera with back-to-back homers in the first. And Cespedes with a solo homer in the fourth for Oakland. And then ASDRUBAL Cabrera with his second of the night here in the fifth. Tribe leading it 3-1 now. And now Mark Reynolds tees off. Goodbye. Deep into the bleachers. Holy smokes. Reynolds says, take that. His 10th home run of the year. Parker smoked him back in the first inning. Reynolds smokes Parker here in the fifth.
Oh, that's exactly what he wanted to do right there. Nicely done. That one was a bomb. I think that went above all the fans out there in left field and had to ricochet back. Something upstairs. He knew it. Look at him. Go ahead. That a boy. That walk from the first 2 steps out of the batter's box was because of the first inning when he drilled him. That now you take pride in.
Like some of the players are going, did you see how far up the
Yeah,
bleachers that ball went?
Well, he
Look
can
at
hit
Cabby.
He can hit it as far. Good for him. I mean, that's gratification there after getting drilled. That's what you want to do.
Santana swinging big, comes up empty.
Watch this upstairs. How many times have we seen something? I mean, he gets on a pitch up top. He hurts it. Watch the walk. There you go. Now go run.
Popped up foul, out of play. Mark Reynolds going deep here in the fifth. So the Indians, another multi-homer inning. 6 times on this homestand. His league-leading 10th home run. Santana bouncing it foul.
They're still talking about it.
You have to after that
pitch,
one.
are you kidding me? He hit it past the fans up there in the bleachers.
Santana strikes out.
No, it's either a homer or a strikeout in this inning.
2 down, a half dozen Ks for Parker.
You know, as 4 home runs, he hasn't had anybody on base on him. And you look at it and you say, my goodness, the Indians are really – it's a 3-run ball game. So even though they're solo home runs, that's what you do if you're a pitcher. If you have to give them up, make sure nobody's on base.
Activity in the Oakland bullpen. Chris Resop, right-hander, getting loose. Parker closing in on – well, he's over 90 pitches now. Closing in on 100. Giambi out in front again. He did that to him in his last at bat. That was a pitch he struck him out on. Giambi doubled in the second inning. Down on the count here, 0-2. And he chased one in the dirt. So Parker strikes out 3, but the Indians take him deep twice for the second time in the ballgame. They lead it 4-1.
It'll take place each and every Sunday home game. Plenty of activities for the kids. They can run the bases after the ball game.
They've estimated the distance on the Mark Reynolds home run at 466 feet. That's some pretty rare territory right there.
Yeah, it is. That's like Manny Ramirez territory up there.
Manny and Jim Thome. Thome still has the longest, I believe, on record.
Yeah, left center field. I was thinking of the one Manny hit off Eckersley here.
Do you think they ever got an accurate distance on the one McGuire hit that hit the scoreboard?
I don't know. Ask Oral. All I know is Sandy and those guys had a ladder up there the next day. They were up there when they were stretching. We came out and they were yelling down to them.
In an empty stadium, looking up at how far away that was, it was even more impressive then when Sandy was standing up there going, wow, that's a long way to hit a baseball.
Well, he was sitting behind the plate and watched it go that far.
Yeah.
He had to go visit it himself.
Down on the dirt. John Jaso has popped up and he has walked tonight. You see where the U in Hyundai is. It was just above that on the scoreboard where that ball that McGuire hit. The 2-2. The Indians media guide lists the top 7 home run distances. 7th place is 477 feet.
2 times in a row, Jaso walks.
Let's go back in the time capsule, Arch.
All right. Ouch. Oh, he'd do it. Watch. No, keep going. Keep going. That hit up off the Budweiser. Was Brian doing the camera then? He got tricked, I think.
Hit like
it was
the
so
E.
high.
Yep. The E in Budweiser, yeah. He came off of that.
Look at that.
So that's just to the right of where John Adams sits up there.
Houston
on
may
his
have a
drum.
problem.
Now you can see where John Adams is sitting up at the top row of the bleachers, and it's above that.
But that wasn't the farthest one in this ballpark.
No, Jim Thome's off the side of the top of the bleachers to almost straightaway center field, and then out onto the street behind the ballpark.
Which is now named for Larry Doby. Right? Out there?
Yeah. Out of play. Seth Smith has struck out twice tonight. Now the 1-2. A little bit outside. Well, Rick, whatever it has been, in his last 2 starts, Ubaldo Jimenez has pitched from in front. He's been attacking. He's been quality strikes, too.
Yes.
You know, working
and
the edges.
It's been with all of his pitches. He's pitched.
Chopper foul.
I mean, changeup, his curveball, like Katie was talking about earlier, the good spin on it. He's located the fastball. He really has seemed like a different guy. So whatever he has done in between starts and on his days off, continue to do it because it's worked out really well. Whatever it takes to get you to where you got to be.
Bounced up the middle. It gets through. And the shift burns the Indians here. Jaso goes into third. The A's are at the corners.
They were playing Smith to pull, and he makes a good pitch. This is a double play ball, except you see he was way in the hole. Wasn't cheating the second base. Cabrera was over there, so it gets through. That was a pretty good pitch by Jimenez.
Bullpen just now getting busy. Nick Hagedorn, who was just called up when the Indians placed Vinny Pastano on the disabled list, is getting loose in the bullpen. Mickey Callaway going out to talk with Ubaldo, who's still shy of 90 pitches on the night. But he is going through the lineup for the 3rd time this evening, and the first 2 have reached here in this 6th inning. Jed Lowry will be the batter, 0 for 2 on the night. And Lowry has grounded out, flied out in the ballgame. And it's the first time Ubaldo has had any kind of trouble at all. He gave up a solo homer to Cespedes in the 4th. But that's been it. The only other A to reach second base was Josh Reddick when he had a leadoff single in the 3rd, and he only went to second on a 2-out walk to John Jaso. So Ubaldo has been free and easy, stress-free all night long, despite the fact that it has been a very close game. It was a 2-1 Indians lead until the 2 solo homers by the Tribe in the 5th. Just missed outside, 1-1. Little bit outside again, 2 balls and a strike. Lowry and the A's threatening here in the 6th now. 90th pitch of the night for Ubaldo. Chop foul. Now the 2-2. In the air. Shallow left. And in to make the catch is Brantley. The runners have to hold. That was one of those in-between balls. Cabrera was out there. He could have probably gotten to it, but alertly and smartly, as you like to see, the outfielder take charge.
You got a man on third base getting ready to tag. If the shortstop catches it, you can tag up. And you can go. That's why as an outfielder, you have to take this ball. There goes the guy back to tag. Now, if Cabrera catches it, not that he would have made it or not that he even would have went with Cespedes coming to the plate. But that's the one Brantley's got to make. So it remains, they re-rack it 1st and 3rd, except you have 1 out now.
And the very dangerous Yoenis Cespedes at the plate, homered his last time up. But the double play is now in order. And he grounded to short his last time up. The Indians play a 3-man shift on the left side of the infield now for Cespedes. KIPNIS still on the right side of second base, but look at how far over.
Well, if you remember, it was a 2-0 pitch to Cespedes that Jimenez left inside. He made a mistake pitch, and he hit it out of the ballpark.
Goes the other way. Ryan Rayburn will make the catch. Jaso will tag at 3rd. He'll come home and score. It's a 4-2 ball game as Cespedes, with his 2nd RBI of the night, has 18 now on the year.
You see, that was a good pitch, and he still does some damage with the man on third base and gets the RBI home. He's driven in a pair tonight. He takes what the pitcher gives him. I mean, this pitch is down. Watch him go to the other way. That's a good pitch. He didn't try to hit it out of the ballpark. He put it in play. He put a good swing on it and hits it a long way to right field, gets his job done. Dangerous hitter.
And so with 2 down, Brandon Moss to the plate, 0 for 2 on the night. He goes the other way, squibs it, and it's in for a base hit. Brantley cuts it off, holds the runner at second base. What a throw to 3rd. Smith would not have made it. So he jammed on the brakes about halfway around second base. But the inning stays alive. Nice piece of hitting by Moss.
You know, with 2 outs, I actually thought Brantley was going to go to second base because that's the tying run. I thought you'd almost concede 3rd, but Michael takes a lot of pride. He looked up and he says, "Go ahead. I've got something for you." He throws it into 3rd base, but he put on the brakes. You know, with 2 outs, you got to be off and running on contact anyway.
He was. He wasn't going to get there, though. Josh Donaldson, 0 for 2, has struck out twice tonight. And a first pitch strike.
Here you go right there. There's that low strike tonight. That was a splitter going down, and the way Santana caught it made it look even lower than what it really was.
Pass ball a little bit high, 1-1. Ubaldo deals. Breaking ball hit, right field line foul, slicing into the seats. And now Jimenez 1 strike away from getting out of the inning.
You can see he is tough with runners in scoring position. .423 average.
With 2 on and 2 out, the 1-2 pitch is a little bit low, and the count evens up. Hagedorn ready in the Tribe bullpen, but right now it's Ubaldo Jimenez facing Josh Donaldson. Santana going to go out for a chat before this 2-2 pitch. It'll be the 99th pitch of the game for Jimenez. 60 out of his 98 have been for strikes.
Give us everything you got. This is going to be his last hitter any way you look at it. Whatever you've got left in the tank, get after it. That last pitch he threw was 96 miles an hour, so he knows. He's got to give it everything he has to get through this 5th and give him a solid 6 innings.
Last week's American League Player of the Week, Josh Donaldson. With 2 A's aboard and 2 down on the 2-2 pitch. Bounced it in front of the plate, and now full count.
Well, now they get a head start on the bases.
That splitter was out in front of the dish. Jimenez shakes him off a couple of times. Donaldson steps away. Now we'll try again. The runners go, and it's popped back out of play. So Jimenez teetering right now. 4-2 ball game. Indians on top, but with the runners moving. Donaldson awaits the 3-2. Checked. It was in the dirt, and it's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And so now a decision for Terry Francona, and he's already made up his mind. With the left-handed hitting Josh Reddick coming up, Terry Francona is going to go to Nick Hagedorn with the bases loaded and 2 down. We've got a timeout with the Indians leading it 4-2. And today's call to the bullpen brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic. It will be the just recalled Nick Hagedorn coming into the ball game when we come back. 4-2, Tribe on top. But Oakland has loaded them up with 2 down. The batter will be Josh Reddick. He'll be facing Nick Hagedorn, just called back when the Indians put Vinny Pastano on the DL before today's game. 9th appearance. He has struck out 8, walked 6 in 7 1/3, and that's the dicey situation where you got nowhere to put him.
Yeah, you're right. And, he can have problems throwing strikes. He's got to come in here and get aggressive. No room for error here.
Hagedorn deals, and a fastball is in there for strike 1.
You mentioned Reddick has been a much different hitter with runners on as compared to with nobody on. But a good fastball there by Hagedorn to get ahead.
Swung out and missed. He tried to hold up, but he was caught in between. He went around, and now Hagedorn has him down on the count 0-2.
Check this pitch out on our Nissan pitch tracker. Great slider goes down, and he wanted to start. He had to get it geared up to get the fastball, and then all of a sudden, nice slider out of the zone. So strike 2.
Well, Terry Francona obviously went to Hagedorn because he liked the lefty-lefty matchup. He really believes that Hagedorn can be a very good and very effective late-inning left-handed reliever. The 0-2 pitch. Got him looking.
He didn't mess around.
Reddick flips the bat. He gets another warning from Hernandez. He is out to end the inning. The A's leave him loaded. Hagedorn comes out of the pen, throws strikes, gets a Tribe out of a jam. It's a 4-2 Indians lead. Bottom of the 6th inning. And today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. Chris Resop, 16th appearance of the year for the Oakland A's. Jared Parker went 5 innings and gave up 4 runs, all on solo homers. He'd given up 4 home runs in his first 6 starts, and then 4 tonight.
Well, and they're still in the game, so even though he did give up long balls, they were solo home runs. Resop spent the entire season last season with the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was 1-4 and had a 3.91 ERA. So coming on out of the bullpen for the A's, will face Rayburn, Stubbs, and Brantley. There's Reynolds. He left the yard tonight.
ASDRUBAL Cabrera with a couple of dingers tonight. Kipnis a solo shot, Reynolds a solo, although his should count for 2. Ryan Rayburn walked his last time up. Missed inside. Came up empty, good fastball, 1-1. Sky high pop on the infield. Shortstop, second baseman converge. Lowry, the shortstop, calls him off. 1 away. All right, as promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Rick talked about the Manny Ramirez homer off Dennis Eckersley. All right, watch where this one lands.
Look at it, he was walking.
Boom.
Pretty good ball.
About halfway up the bleachers.
Wow is right. Watch this one. That's beautiful. Nice cut, boys. That was farther.
Definitely
yes, it is.
farther.
Not the same reaction from the pitcher, but if you remember, Reynolds was drilled in the first inning, so the satisfaction went to the hitter that time.
I don't know where Manny's, as far as the tape measure, what it ended up. It's not among the top 7. In fact, Manny has 1 homer among the top 7 in distance here at the ballpark, but it was when he was with the Red Sox. Back in 2007, he hit one on July 26th that was measured at 481. That's number 3 behind McGuire's scoreboard shot. The 1-1. Called a strike. Stubbs might have thought it was in off the plate. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Out of play down the right side. Count stays 1 ball, 2 strikes. For whatever reason, the Indians have really enjoyed hitting home runs to start the game and in the middle of the game. Beginning the night, they had hit 8 homers in the first, 9 homers in the 5th. Those are their best innings for home runs, and they hit 2 in the first and 2 more in the 5th.
Well, it's hard to figure out.
Swing and a miss, and Stubbs strikes out for the second time tonight. 2 down in the inning. We'll go back to the Hyundai Studios for an in-game update with Al.
Hey, fellas, you're talking about home runs. How about a grand slam down at the Trop? Evan Longoria here in the 3rd inning, his 7th homer of the year. Mark Burley's had 1 bad inning for Toronto, but it's been a doozy. Tampa with 7 runs in the 3rd. They lead at 7-3 now. 6th inning down in St. Petersburg. Matt, Rick?
Yeah, Burley has scuffled a little bit this year.
Well, Tampa Bay owned Toronto last year. They won 14 out of 18.
Wow.
Tell you what, Mark Burley, you got to wonder there. Burley had given up 3 home runs in each of his last 2 outings.
Yeah.
9 on the year, tied for the 3rd most in the majors.
And the slam today.
Yeah, so speaking of teams being worried, Gavin Floyd of the White Sox has had the Tommy John surgery. Roy Halladay.
He did have it?
He's either had it or he's going to have it. I'm not sure, but it was announced today.
Okay.
So he's shut down for, you got to figure the rest of the year. Roy Halladay, he's on the DL. They've got to figure out what's wrong with him.
Yeah, they've got to get him checked.
He said he's got some shoulder problem. It just won't go away. He said it's been sore. Thought he would work through it, but it just won't go away. That doesn't sound good.
2-1 count for Brantley. And that's out of play. Evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Andrew Bailey of the Red Sox, their closers on the DL. Strained bicep. Jake Peavy's been bothered by some back spasms. It's amazing how many, teams are dealing with injuries. It's not just the Indians, though. It seems like for the Indians, it's been a different guy every other.
There's a lot of people with some injuries. You're right, a lot of teams.
Brantley fouls it back. And that's why most managers place such a premium on it. When you ask them about forecasting this, that, and the other thing, they say, we've got, first and foremost, we have to try and stay healthy as best we can. And as you said, the Indians have done a pretty good job to this point of navigating their way through, getting good performances by guys who've stepped in. And
yeah, I think so.
I mean, my goodness, Ryan Rayburn's the American League Player of the Week.
Rayburn, and then Avila's had, the 5 RBIs in a game at Kansas City that got them started on a 6-game winning streak, if you think about it.
That's right.
And he's filled in. I mean, just guys that they've had to plug into places have done a beautiful job.
Corey Kluber's done up.
And I mean, no excuses, haven't missed a beat, and they welcome the opportunity.
3-2, fouled away.
Well, here you go. I mean, Pistano goes on the DL. Hagedorn comes in with the bases loaded and goes 3 pitches and walks right through it. I mean, that's what you need. You need guys to step in and fill the void. And they have played short almost all year long.
8 different starting pitchers already?
Yeah, already. We're just starting May.
Another 3-2 pitch to Brantley, who's battling away here.
Good pitch.
Called out to end the inning. Indians go 1-2-3. We go to the 7th, 4-2 Cleveland. Here's a look in at the ballpark tonight from our Panini Cam, brought to you by Panini's Bar and Grill. 4-2 Indians. Entertaining ball game here tonight. It's been good pitching, and it's been some long balls, but
still a ball game.
Yeah, it's, one pitch could have been a huge swing in that 6th inning. A's had the bases loaded, chance to maybe take the lead, but this guy, Nick Hagedorn, on the hill for the Tribe, left-hander, comes on out of the bullpen with the bases loaded and strikes out Josh Reddick on 3 pitches to get out of it. Now he'll face Derek Norris, who is 0 for 2. Brian Shaw up in the Tribe bullpen, and that's ball 1. That's hit pretty well. Left center field. Stubbs won't get to it. Short hops to Wall, and into second base is Derek Norris with a lead-off double. Well, now Oakland has 3 left-handed hitters in a row in their lineup, but Bob Melvin's going to go to his bench.
Well, he challenged him with a fastball right there, and Norris wins that battle. He smoked it into left center field. He timed that fastball well.
He's going to go to Adam Rosales to bat for Eric Sogard. He wants the right-handed bats with Hagedorn on the hill. Pitch up high, ball 1. Rosales 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter this year.
Yeah, the A's have not done a good job in the pinch hitter department. They have done it a lot. They just haven't been successful a lot.
Hagedorn misses high, 2-0.
This is their 30th at-bat by a pinch hitter. You look at the Indians, they've got 3.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's the big difference. The Indians 0 for 3. Oakland 2 for 29.
Call to strike. There's that low bottom of the strike zone all night long. It's been called.
Well, as a hitter, and you're a pinch hitter, you're probably going to make him throw a strike in that situation. Even though you're the tying run at the plate, you're going to try and get aboard. He'll be ready to go now looking for a fastball.
That's hit a long way to left field, but right there is Brantley making the catch. The runner can't move. So Norris holds at second, 1 away. Let's get to answer the AT&T trivia question now. Last player, 10 seasons between his first and second league MVP awards.
You got us?
Happy birthday to you.
Okay.
The Say Hey Kid, 82 years old.
Oh, man. No kidding. 54 and 65. Gotcha.
Going to get a pinch hitter. Before we get back to that, how about Willie Mays? 24. That's not even, huh? What? 24?
12 gold gloves, 660 dingers, 330. He was, one of the best of all time.
13 consecutive seasons of 150 or more games. We got a pitching change here at the ballpark with the Tribe in front 4-2. Pinch hitter is Luke Montz. New Indians pitcher is Brian Shaw. Shaw, hard thrower, 12th appearance, 0.69 ERA in 13 innings, 16 strikeouts, 5 walks. Luke Montz, you may remember yesterday during our telecast, Al had an update and told us that this guy had hit his first home run in over 4 years. And that was against the Yankees.
I'm guessing that was a pinch hit homer, too, only because they do have, out of their 2 hits that they've had, one of them is a home run. So I'm guessing. All right, he falls behind 2-0.
Luke Montz last appeared in the big leagues with Washington back in 08. Since then, he's been in the minor leagues.
Good pitch. Tommy waved me off and said, no, it wasn't a pinch hit. He started.
Remember I said yesterday, how old is Jamie Carroll? Old enough to the fact that he was drafted by the Montreal Expos. So was Luke Montz. And he's only 29. He's 10 years younger than Jamie.
Well, he's in a hitter's count right now, 3-1.
Right back to the screen, and a full count now.
Well, in every at-bat, if you get a pitch to hit, you want to put it in play. That one he had, but it might have been just a hair too high for him in his zone because he fouled it straight back, but it looked like a pretty good pitch to hit.
God, I'm looking. Montz was on his way to first, thought he had ball 4. Angel Hernandez up with the right hand, and a strikeout for Shaw, out number 2 here in the 7th.
Well, they're going to stay away with it, and that's an awful tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. He gets rung up. There's 2 outs now.
A little bit outside. Sean Doolittle, left-hander, up in the Oakland pen. That evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Down in the dirt. Good stop by Santana. Now the 2-1 pitch. Down and in, 3 balls and a strike. Brian Shaw trying to get the Indians out of the 7th inning. It's been a kind of a white knuckler here tonight, even though the Indians have hit 4 home runs. They've all been solo shots, and Oakland been able to hang right in there. 3-1 pitch. Broke his bat. Swisher will flip it. Shaw kicks the bag, and the inning is over. So the Tribe's bullpen continues to pitch well here tonight. Stretch time at Progressive Field. Tribe in front 4-2. And the 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. Life is hard. Buying a car shouldn't be. 2-2. Indians on top of the A's here. Bottom of the 7th inning. Adam Rosales stays in the ball game. He's now at second base. Chris Resop, who pitched the 6th, stays in here to work the 7th. Jason Kipnis will lead it off for the Tribe, 1 for 3. He started it tonight for the Indians with a homer in the 1st. And it was a blast.
Yeah, it was. The left center field, more towards center than anything else.
Outside corner and a called strike. Resop ready with a 1-1. That's out of play. Resop, a native of Naples, Florida. The 1-2 is outside. Resop went to Collier High School in Naples.
I'll bet he was happier when he was with Pittsburgh because that's home down there. They're
yeah, right by Bradenton. Yeah,
sure. Now the A's out in Phoenix. As a matter of fact, Oakland is going to take over the Chicago Cubs spring training out in Mesa. What is it, Ho-Ho-Cam?
Yeah, moving out of downtown Phoenix.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Did you play in Naples when you were in that senior professional baseball league?
No, I played at Fort Myers. They didn't have a team in Naples.
That's a beautiful part of southwestern Florida,
yeah,
Naples.
A lot of Ohioans are down in that area.
Yeah. We know a few in the Fort Myers
well,
area.
We sure do. Yes, we do.
The island of misfit toys. Here's the 2-2 now to Kipnis. Out of play to the left. We'll see one of our good buddies here in another week or so.
Yeah. The Zap Man.
Jason Kipnis trying to get the Indians offense rolling again here in the 7th. Back-to-back solo homers in the 1st by Kipnis Cabrera. Solo shots in the 5th by Cabrera and Mark Reynolds. And the 2-2. Strike 3 called. And that's the other thing. We've had a lot of homers and a lot of strikeouts. That's 10 strikeouts now for Oakland pitching. And let's take a look at Asdrubal Cabrera's 2 home runs. The first one was a line drive.
Yeah, line seed into the Indians bullpen. The next one, a high drive into the A's bullpen. So he has visited both pens tonight with his home runs. Well, you mentioned a lot of strikeouts. There's been 20 strikeouts in the game. 8 of them have been called. 8 out of the 20. That seems like a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's face it. It's been an interesting strike zone tonight. There have been some questionable calls, but as you pointed out from the outset, consistently he's called a low strike or borderline ball out of the ball or 2 out of the bottom of the strike zone. The 2-0. I always think, you say that as a hitter, the low pitch, in particular the low pitch that's away, is the toughest one to hit. So if an umpire is calling the low strike as opposed to a high strike, what's the easier adjustment to make as a hitter?
I'd rather see the high pitch better.
That's what I was thinking.
The low pitch you got to work at. It's tough to dig it out. I mean, there's some low ball hitters that don't mind it, but
Cabrera draws a walk with one out here in the 7th inning, and the Indians have a base runner now for Nick Swisher. Late innings are brought to you by Captain Morgan Rum. Raise a glass, always in moderation. Nick Swisher, base hit back in the 3rd. He has also popped up, struck out. Swisher was really swinging a hot bat there for a while, but I think that shoulder issue that sidelined him for several days probably played a key role in cooling him off at the plate. But, as he pointed out when he was down, with both he and Michael Bourne out of the lineup, that's when the Indians got great contributions from some of the role players and other players in the lineup stepped forward to pick up the slack. A little bit outside, 2-0. Joe Smith will be coming on to work the 8th.
And he's ready. I don't think he'd mind if they score a couple more.
Up and away, 3 balls, no strikes. Swisher, like Jason Giambi, spent bulk of his career with this Oakland organization. Rysop needs to throw a strike here, but he can't, and the Indians have 2 on with 1 out on back-to-back walks. And Mark Reynolds is coming to the plate. That's the last thing Bob Melvin wanted to see. This is early in the game. After the Indians had homered twice in the 1st, Reynolds got drilled. And then in the 5th, he says, "You want to drill me? I'll drill you."
Redemption. He smoked it. That was the Eck move, the wow.
Yeah.
It wasn't the pitcher that did it, it was his own teammate.
Now Rysop, you could tell, not happy with himself after walking 2 in a row here in the 7th. So he's gift-wrapped an opportunity for the Tribe now as Reynolds comes to the plate. Kurt Young's on the horn. A's bullpen springing into action. Mark with his league-leading 10th home run in the 5th. And his 27 RBIs have him right up there near the top in that category as well. Miguel Cabrera leads the league with 36. His teammate Prince Fielder has 32. Then Mike Napoli with 31. Chris Davis with 30. And then Reynolds.
Yeah, those 2 guys, 68 RBIs between them. There's clubs that only have 30 more than those 2 guys.
Reynolds fouls it back. Evan Scribner, right-hander, gets loose for Oakland. Tell you what, it looked like Tampa Bay was going to run away from Toronto, but the Blue Jays have cut the gap to 7-5 in the 7th down at the Trop. Minnesota had a big early lead over Boston. Twins' lead is now 4-3 in the 6th. As we know at Fenway, no lead is ever safe there.
That's true.
White Sox beat the Royals earlier today 2-1 if you hadn't heard. Here it's the Indians up a pair, trying to add to it. 2 on, 1 out, 1-1 pitch. Reynolds takes, and a strike called. Time is called. Reynolds trying to zero in here. 1-2 count. He's been pretty good even when he's been. Oh, runners go. And Reynolds bangs it up the middle, but right to the second baseman, Rosales, who throws him out. So the Indians have second and third. Now there are 2 down in the inning. Boy, that was almost played perfectly.
Yeah, a lot of action going there, didn't you?
Usually when you got guys moving, an infielder moves and it opens up a hole. But Rosales was right there.
Well, they surprised him. And I'll tell you, he went right back up the middle, but they're playing Reynolds to pull. It goes right under Resov's glove, but Rosales standing right in the way. The only play they had was first base. So both runners move up, second and third now with 2 outs. We'll see how they do this, too. You got Santana, who's your hot hitter. And up among the league leaders, and you have Giambi on deck, how they want to go about this here if you're the Oakland A's.
Well, Santana 0 for 3 tonight.
That's okay, but they're not going to wait. They know it. They're going to just put him on. That's smart.
They're going to make their
third walk in the inning.
The former A beat him tonight. The Indians already had the lead, but they could really do some damage and open it up.
Well, yeah, they can with 2 outs. Oakland had a chance earlier with 2 outs, and they got out of it. Or the Indians did.
Yeah. Well, hey, tune in after Indians Live following the ballgame tonight for Chuck's last call. Chuck Galletti will be on the answering end of your phone calls and your emails. Have the latest info on what's happening in Cleveland sports. It's Chuck's last call tonight after Indians Live on Sports Time Ohio. All right, so Jason Giambi, 1 for 3 on the night, a double, a couple of strikeouts. Out goes Norris, probably to talk with Resop about how they've gone about attacking Giambi. And he got the double early, but they've got ahead of him and then gone to the changeup, really get him out in front.
That split change that Parker had was very good. And you remember his double, it was almost like a fluke double because it was a bloop down the line that went off the third baseman's glove, Donaldson. So we'll see. I don't think they want to throw him a good fastball and challenge him, that's for sure.
The pitch.
Well, they did. It was away.
Cabrera at third, Swisher at second, Santana at first. All 3 base runners have come via the walk here in the 7th inning.
Change-up.
Pops it up, foul out of play.
Yeah, get ahead with the fastball and then go to change-ups. And that's exactly what that was.
It's kind of funny. Here are the Indians playing the A's, and the Indians are using A's baseball against them. Home runs, walks. They got them loaded up here in this 7th inning. And the former A, Jason Giambi, trying to do some damage. But he's in the hole 0-2. Resop delivers. That's outside, a ball and 2 strikes. Giambi still has a very good eye at the plate.
Well, I would be afraid to take that pitch tonight.
Back out of play. He wasn't going to let the second one go by and take a chance.
No, and that was a fastball, too.
Let's see what they call for here. Well, unless we know what the sequence of the sign says, we're not going to guess. You figure it's got to be off speed ahead in the count. The 1-2. Little bit outside. Again, it might have been a changeup, but that was up. It was
changeup.
It was
off
away,
the dish.
though.
Yeah, off the dish.
he misses over the plate with this, it might end up on 9th Street.
Well, it just depends if that guy's out in front, though. You never know. That's what you're trying to do, is take the barrel of the bat off from the hitter.
And now a 2-2 count. Reesop taking a long time. He steps away. He's not sure. Giambi takes aim, trying to give the Indians some cushion now. The 2-2. Up high and a full count. Went with the fastball, but up out of the zone. And now this small crowd, just 9,514 here tonight. But they are up on their feet. Want to see Giambi put a jolt into a ball here in the 7th inning. Everybody moves on the 3-2 pitch. Giambi with a line drive center field. Base hit. Scoring is Cabrera. Scoring is Swisher. And Jason Giambi with a 2-out, 2-run single makes it a 6-2 Indians advantage.
Yeah, that's a really a good professional at bat right there. Where, boy, oh boy, he laid off a couple of change-ups away, and he ends up getting a full count pitch, and he put it in play. Drives it right back up the middle. In front of Cespedes in center field. 2 runs will score. They were off and running. That opens it up a little bit. It's 6-2, and that's going to chase Reesop from the ball game. So a big hit by Giambi.
So Jason Giambi with a couple of knocks tonight, couple of runs batted in. Timeout, 6-2 Tribe. Well, the Indians have opened it up 6-2 thanks to Jason Giambi's 2-out, 2-run single. Evan Scribner now out of the A's bullpen. He'll be facing Ryan Rayburn. Scribner, 11th appearance of the year. The ERA of over 5. How about Jason Giambi, though? 2 hits tonight. And consider this, it's a 6-2 ball game. That was the first hit in the game with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah.
The 2 teams were combined 0 for 12 before that rip by Giambi right up the middle on the 7th pitch of the at-bat. And remember, he was down 0-2 to start.
He wasn't going to walk him. I mean, he had to throw him a strike. Can't walk a run in that situation. And he threw him a strike, and Giambi took advantage. But he battled to get to that full count.
Ryan Rayburn, 0 for 2 with a walk. Now Scribner with a 1-1. And Rayburn pops it back out of play. Now the 1-2. Rayburn drives one right center field. Cespedes on the move. He won't get it. It short hops the fence. Scoring is Santana. Giambi into third. Ryan Rayburn with a 2-out RBI double. And the Indians really opening it up now, lead at 7-2.
Well, now all the walks in this inning have scored. So close the book on Mrisop. He walked all 3 of them.
Redbird tells me that's the 100th career double in the career of Ryan Rayburn.
Well, it plugs the gap in right center field. Nicely done. The ball was up. It helped him go that way. Short hops the wall. Anybody other than Giambi, I think, would have scored on that ball. But he cruised into third base.
Hey, Giambi's just happy to be at third.
Well, I know it.
Drew Stubbs has had a tough night, 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts. That's outside. Well, the Indians continue their hot-hitting ways with 2 outs on the homestand. They've hit over 400 as a team with 2 outs. That's out of play. Look out. That ball had some steam on it.
That may be up in the buffet in the club seats.
The 4-game series underway tonight between the Indians and the A's, and the Tribe striking early and now often. Up 7-2 in the 7th. It's in the dirt. Good block by Norris. And now Stubbs gets back into the at-bat, 2-2. If you joined us late, 2 solo homers in the 1st, 2 solo homers in the 5th, and now here in the 7th, the Indians taking advantage of 3 walks to score 3 times thanks to back-to-back 2-out RBI hits by Giambi and Rayburn. Stubbs had one. He'd love to have that one back again. 2-2 the count. He got his fastball.
And he didn't get it in. You get away with them sometimes.
Yep. And a breaking ball hit on the ground to short. Lowry's throw just did get the speedy Stubbs to end the inning. But the Indians come up with 3 here in the 7th to open up a 7-2 lead.
The Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Indians with a 7-2 lead going to the 8th inning. Brian Shaw, who got the last 2 outs of the 7th, staying on to work the 8th. Up out of play. Well, there's one of the Oakland fans.
Reggie Jackson right there.
I think he sits out in the left field bleachers in Oakland.
The old sleeveless. Yeah, they get some rowdy people out there in those bleachers. We'll visit out there in August, mid-August.
Chopped on the ground to second base. Jason Kipnis, big hop, flips it over. Jed Lowry is out number 1. Revisiting our keys to the game from earlier tonight. Well, Ubaldo Jimenez able to build off that strong start he had in Kansas City. Went 5 2/3. Struck out a season-high 8 and only gave up 4 hits. Control Cespedes, well, to a degree, yeah. He's driven in the only 2 runs for Oakland tonight. But
well, the offense scored 7, so just keep him from driving in 7. This guy, it's tough to control him. You know, he hit the home run on a 2-0 pitch that was on the inside part of the plate, and then he had a man on third base the other time and hit a nice low fastball the other way for a sac fly.
Who was it that coined that phrase years ago? You can't stop him, you can only hope to contain him. You know, that's kind of the idea.
Yeah, he contained him with that little cutter.
Nice play by Cabrera, 2 away. Stick around after the ball game for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Al and Jason will have the highlights and break it down from the studio. Rick and I will have some final thoughts from here at the ballpark, and Katie will have reaction from the clubhouse. Brandon Moss, 1 out of 3. Looks at a fastball for ball 1. That's out of play. Cubs and the Rangers, a makeup game tonight at Wrigley. Chicago shutting out the Texas gang 6-0. Rangers with just 2 hits in that ball game.
5th inning. That one's not over yet.
Now that's another ballpark where no lead is ever safe.
Not with that Texas offense.
Shattered bat. Ball goes down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Barrel of the bat wound up at the feet of Nick Swisher at first. Brantley's throw a little bit offline, and it's a 2-out double for Brandon Moss. The bat went down one line. The ball went down the other line. Watch this. Barrel, first base.
Boy,
ball, third base.
Split it, too. There you go. Which way is it going? I don't know. You go look for it.
Texas, by the way, began the day tied for the best record in Major League Baseball. The Rangers, the Red Sox, and the St. Louis Cardinals all started the day 20-11.
Yeah, the Cardinals have been playing very well, too.
Swing and a miss. Cincinnati's starting to kick it into gear as well. They started the day with a 3-game win streak. Just 2.5 games back of the Cards. Pirates have played well early, but they had lost their last 2 coming into the start of this week, but only 3 games out.
Yeah, those 2 may be like that all year long.
St. Louis and Cincinnati?
Yes.
A little bit high.
Very well could
You would
be.
think so, the way they're built.
Two good teams.
But you hope for the Pirates fans that this is finally a year where they can compete the whole year long. It's been a long time over there waiting. What, since '92? The last time they had a winning year? Back to the screen foul.
Yeah, they thought they were on the verge last year, and then all of a sudden, later in the year, they collapsed a little bit.
Here it's a 7-2 Tribe lead. Oakland with a runner at second and 2 down. The 1-2 to Donaldson. It's up high. Bryant Shaw ready. He deals. And a little bit outside. A good job of laying off by Donaldson. A full count. Josh Reddick waiting for a chance if Donaldson keeps the inning alive for Oakland. And he will with a base hit into right field. They're going to wave home Brandon Moss. He'll score. And it's a 7-3 ball game as Donaldson gets his 23rd RBI on the year. And Reddick will indeed get a chance to hit here.
Well, there's one upstairs. Little cutter it must have been, or he left it up, but that's going to go. They'll give him that base, and now Mickey Callaway is going to come out and slow him down as they can get their bullpen going.
Joe Smith, who was up last inning, is getting up again. Well, probably won't take him long to get hot. And you figure if you're going to get him up for a second time, you probably want to get him into the game.
Well, you would think so, yeah. Oakland now with 7 hits on the evening. A couple of doubles, a home run.
The pitch is fouled right back. Reddick had a good rip. One ball, one strike. High fly ball left field. Michael Brantley. He's there. He's got it. And the inning is over. A's get a run closer, but it's 7-3 Cleveland, middle of the 8th. 7-3, Indians lead it. Bottom of the 8th inning. And for the Tribe, top of the order, Michael Brantley, Jason Kipnis, ASDRUBAL, CABRERA. Ubaldo Jimenez started tonight for the Indians. He went 5 2/3. It looked like he might get through that 6th inning. But with 2 outs, Brandon Moss, an opposite field base hit. Then he walked Josh Donaldson to load the bases. Terry Francona went to the bullpen, and Nick Hagedorn got a big strikeout of Josh Reddick to end the inning. Kept it a 4-2 Indians lead. And then the Tribe took command with 3 in the 7th. Michael Brantley is 1 for 4 tonight. Evan Scribner misses with a breaking ball. Up and away. On the ground, backhanded by the shortstop Lowry. And his throw, scoop, but not in time. Brantley beats it out. Moss did a nice job to backhand the ball. But Michael simply beating it out for a base hit. He has 2 hits on the night.
He did everything in his power. He got to it, got rid of it quickly, made a good throw. They picked it. But Brantley, they say, beat it out, and he gets a base hit. Good hustle, good play all the way around. That was close. Any way you look at it. Let's say this angle. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's about as close as you can get. I mean, and that's slow motion that we're looking at it, huh? Bang, bang.
And I think because the ball short hops,
yes,
makes it tough to see.
Yeah, and you're looking for or to hear something. That's base hit for Michael. He's got 2 tonight. Indians now with 10, double digits again.
Jason Kipnis, one of those hits, a home run back in the 1st.
Yeah, the Indians this year, when they get to 10 hits, they're 10-1. We told you when they get the lead, where they score first, they're 11-2. They did that today.
He doesn't like the call.
There have been a lot of guys that haven't liked calls all night long, but not much you can do about it.
And now the count is a ball and 2 strikes. He went in, he went away. And a 1-2 is fouled by Jason to stay alive. First of a 4-gamer between these 2 clubs.
Yeah, we'll close out a nice homestand, that we had here. And how about the weather on this homestand? It's been spectacular.
Been outstanding, considering the damp conditions that we dealt with all through April. It didn't matter where we were at, whether it was home, Chicago, Kansas
anywhere
City.
we went. You're right. 4 times we've been rained out. But, boy, it has been great here.
Zach McAllister, Tommy Malone tomorrow night, 7 o'clock game time. Same game time on Wednesday night. Justin Masterson goes for the Tribe. Kipnis drives one to left. Back is Smith. Makes the catch. 1 away.
Then we get a little spring training action. 12 o'clock start on Thursday, right?
Thursday, 12 o'clock getaway day. Scott Kazmir, Bartolo Colon, the matchup Thursday afternoon. Well, here's our in-game box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. ASDRUBAL Cabrera, a couple of solo homers. Mark Reynolds, a mammoth shot to the bleachers. And Jason Giambi with a back-breaking 2-out, 2-run single in the 7th. Called a strike. Bounced it in there, gets away, and quickly Brantley goes to second. Good heads-up base running. I mean, as soon as the ball was in the dirt, Michael broke. He didn't look back. He didn't hesitate. Didn't stutter step. He just, boom, gone.
Yeah, well, curveball in the dirt, that's what you're looking for.
Now Cabrera, a chance to drive in a run with a base hit. Brantley takes off for third, and they don't even get a throw off.
Well, they never even paid attention to him. He came set, and Michael just started. He saw the shortstop, Lowry, back off. He just took off and just ran. Never made him stop. So now they got to bring the infield in.
Oh, Cabrera way out in front, waved at it. 2 down.
There's when it starts in his eyes. It was so slow. He almost screwed himself into the ground.
Well, the good news, he didn't grab at his side. Remember yesterday he had a couple of swings and misses, and he was grabbing at his right side when he was swinging from the left side of the plate. So whatever was bothering him then doesn't appear to be an issue now.
It's not after that swing. May have hurt his wrist. He swung so hard.
Nick Swisher bangs one on the ground to second. Rosales will throw him out. We go to the ninth. 7-3 Cleveland. Out of the ninth inning with the Indians in front, 7-3. And now on for the Indians is Joe Smith. He'll be facing the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for Oakland. Joe on for the 12th time this year, 9 2/3 innings, 11 strikeouts, just 2 walks.
Yeah, those 2 walks coming in his last outing. He had a nice string going there for a while. Didn't allow a run or a walk.
Derek Norris, 1 for 3, doubled his last time up. Joe Smith misses ball one, and I'm not sure. But Santana kind of grabbed at that awkwardly, so he's going to go out. There's a strike on the outside edge. Now the 2-1. Swung out and missed. And Joe comes back to even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here in the 9th inning, Indians lead it 7-3. Boston has come back to tie Minnesota 4-4. Bottom of the 7th at Fenway. Toronto has cut the Tampa Bay lead to 7-6. Norris has struck out 1 away. Stick around for Indians Live after the ball game. Brought to you by your Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Highlights, analysis, locker room reaction, and a whole lot more straight ahead. Adam Rosales pinch hit in the 7th, fly to left. His only time up.
Start him off fastball. Second pitch comes the slider. Now you're down 0-2. You don't know what to look for.
The 0-2 hit hard to third and by a diving Reynolds. And on his way to second is Rosales with a 1-out double.
Well, I take that back. I guess he did know what to look for. And, I mean, he smoked it down in the count 0-2, and he hits it by Reynolds at third.
Well, I guess if you look at where Santana was set up, where Smith wanted to throw that pitch and where it wound up, you see why Rosales was able to hammer it hard. Now, top of the order. And Luke Montz. Well, swing and a miss. Called out on strikes his only time up. Slowly chopped to third. Reynolds on the move. Fields fires. And a nice play by Swisher to keep the foot on the bag. 2 away.
Well, you see he's playing back. He's going to come in, gets the good hop, throws on the run to get him. Swisher just changes feet. 2 outs.
Now Seth Smith 1 for 4 on the night. High fly ball left field. Michael Brantley over near the line. He's got it. And the game is over. The Indians are back in the win column as they take the opener in this 4-game series against the Oakland A's by a final score tonight of 7-3. Ubaldo Jimenez gets the win. He's now 2-2. The loser is Jared Parker. He drops to 1-5. The Indians have now won 10 of their last 14 games. They go above the 500 mark at 15-14. And they close to within just 3.5 games of front-running Detroit in the Central Division. So a good ball game tonight for the Indians. Good start, good bullpen, Timely
hit
hitting.
the long ball.
Hit the long ball.
Yeah, that's right. It was a good game. They score 7 runs again. They score first, they win.
But it was a close game at 4-2, and that brings us to our key play of the game, brought to you by KeyBank.
Yeah, you go back in the 6th inning, bases loaded, and Josh Reddick the hitter, and in comes Nick Hagenow just getting recalled because Pistano on the DL. 3 pitches he threw him. A fastball, 2 sliders, sets him down, a big strikeout. Reddick couldn't believe it, but Hagenow did a nice job and a beautiful pitch right there. So visit your local KeyBank branch for low rates on a home equity or auto loan. Certain conditions certainly do apply, so see your branch for details.
So the Indians a winner 7-3. Back with some final thoughts right after this.